Hey everybody, before the show starts, log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, click on the book a call tab to book a one-on-one Zoom call with me to get all your music business questions solved. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham, and on this episode, we're talking about how to valuate your music for music investors and for NFTs. All right, I'm combining the two on this show today and for the rest of the week. We're talking about music investors and getting them or evaluating yourself for them, preparing yourself for them, and also preparing yourself for the NFT wave, the NFT market that's coming. Right now, it's in its infancy stage. And I don't want you all to think that NFTs will exist 10 years down the line as they are now. Okay, but when they further open to the public and more musicians get involved with them, things that I will be talking about this week and in today's video will be very, very necessary for you to calculate your worth. All right, so I want to jump into Copyright Explain, but if you want to donate to the channel, you can do so right over here. If you want to skip Copyright Explain, you can do so down below. I suggest just watch Copyright Explain to refresh yourself, and then we'll jump into the video. Here we go. Copyright, the sole right which an author has in their own original literary compositions. The exclusive right of an author to print, publish, and vend their own literary works for their own benefit. Now, of course, there are two main rights of copy that the music industry operates and revolves around, and that's the masters and the publishing. And the masters is referred to as the sound recording copyright. Sound recordings as in records, masters, phonogram, or the audio recording file, i.e. the WAV, MP3, AIFF of the composition and or song. Now you can collect your master recording royalties or the proceeds due from the sale and streaming of the master recording via your distributor like TuneCore or DistroKid, and if you have a major label deal, then it's them, all right? Now, you can also collect the performance royalties via the master sound recording via Sound Exchange and PPL over in the UK. Sound Exchange is based here in America. And if you are outside of America, any other organization that collects these sound recording performance royalties are referred to as neighboring rights. Now, publishing is referred to as a performing arts copyright here in America. Okay, performing arts as in the composition, sheet music, MIDI files, publishing, or song to be performed. You can collect the performance royalties for the composition via BMI, CSAC, ASCAP here in America and PRS over in the UK, and other countries have their own performing rights organization as well to collect those royalties for you. All right, now you can collect the mechanical royalties due from the composition via Harry Fox, Music Reports, and the Mechanical Licensing Collective here in America. You can also collect your mechanical royalties over in the UK from MCPS. So now, Lyric Find right here. You can get your lyric display royalties from Lyric Find and Music Match, but that's that. Let's go through the 6 rights of copyright to be exercised to the fullest extent of the United States Code under Title 17, and that's the right to reproduce. The right to reproduce the copyrighted work in copies or phonorecords, physical or digital format. The right to prepare derivative works. The right to prepare derivative works based upon the copyrighted work. The right to distribute copies or phonorecords of the copyrighted work to the public by sale or other transfer of ownership or by rental, lease, or lending. And then we have the right to public performance, the right to perform the copyrighted work publicly, the right to public display, the right to display the copyrighted work publicly, and the right to digital performance, and that's the right to digital audio transmission performance. All right, everybody, thanks for watching Copyright Explained. Now, today's video is long. Just as clearly as you can see, it is packed full of an immense amount of gems, so I recommend you watch to the end. Go back, use the chapter selections at the bottom if you need to scan back through the video. Okay, stick with me until the end of this week. There's going to be something amazing on Friday. All right, now let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the inside of the computer. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about today on, how to evaluate your music for these NFTs and these music investors and these new music investor NFT people, right? This is all the independent angel investors that will now be coming forth. What I'm going to do this week is get you all prepared for this coming wave that is happening and show artists what they're going to have to go through to prepare themselves to be investable by these angel investors with NFTs or just in general, because I see a lot of investment platforms coming forth and they're utilized in different ways. Some of them are NFT, some of them aren't. All right. But this is the turn of the music industry. You see the songwriters fighting with the labels. Shout out to the 100%ers. They're getting things done. You got my channel. We're going at it. I'm showing you how to make better deals. And artists, things are changing for you because where you want to hold on to or be more independent, your business structure and your business mindset is going to have to shift from being an artist to an all-out multimedia company and just, an all-out brand encompassing everything, more so than just an artist. You're no longer an artist anymore, and if you're still stuck in the artist mindset, chances are you might not see what you want out of the creations that you bring forth. So off of the soapbox, you got to stick with me all week long for this now, because this is not a one-show thing, okay? So stick with me all week long, and we got something coming up cool at the end of the week, because this is going to be a heavy, heavy week. I mean, it's going to be so many gems this week. It's going to be crazy. All right. Now, today we're talking about the formula in which we will need to evaluate our music. We're talking about what it's going to, what the payback looks like, or, what would be a decent payback structure versus the old one. What the label will think you're worth, or what it comes out to. All right. And building leverage, brand value, and then some other questions that I don't have listed in the preface, some other questions that will need to be asked when it comes to determining the value of your music or the album or the company that encompasses all of the albums together. Without further ado, let's jump into the show. So check it out. All right, so this is the formula right here. 100% ownership divided by the percent offered to the label. And before let me kick it back for a second. This is just a standard formula to evaluate companies when you're trying to just get a ballpark figure, or really a real figure of how you're evaluating the company. This is the formula you're going to use. Some of you all who are hip to business, you may know this from, how people value their businesses in Shark Tank. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. But you got to tie this to the album instead of, or your whole company, whichever one you're tying it to, whatever you're selling. So 100% ownership divided by the percent offered to the label or the investor. Okay, that should be or the investor, right? Multiple equals the multiple of available shares in the 100% offered. Meaning, like, you're going to split this up. How many shares are going to be in this 100%? Because when we go and we analyze this little pump NFT deal via Oculus and Opulus and Republic, you're going to see that this is how it works. This is why I'm saying the whole game is changing now. Okay, so 100% ownership divided by the percent offered to the label equals the multiple of available shares in the 100% offered, okay, or mass, as I want to call it, MAS, times the cash requested for the album or albums will equal your current album project value. Now, this is not hard to understand, all right? I just typed it out in long terms here so you could see what each piece meant. I'll go through it again. 100% ownership divided by the percent offered to the label or investor will equal the multiple of available shares in the 100% offered, like you're splitting up a piece of pie, okay? Then you take that number and you times it, or you multiply it by the cash requested for the album or albums in the deal, all right? That will give you the current album project value here, okay? The percentage offered to the label is determined by how badly you need the cash. Okay. The percentage offered to the label is determined by how badly you need the cash. Okay? The bigger the percentage, the more you need that cash. The smaller the percentage, it's like, I could go find the cash. I kind of just want to do a partnership. We're coming for more strategic interest from the label, more so than just cash. But when you got to come in and say, hey, we got to do an 85-15 deal. I need this cash right now. That means you can't wait. You need cash. But why do you need the cash? We're going to get into that. Why do you need to give away 85%? You know what I'm saying? Are you that thirsty? Do you know what you're going to use the money for? Let's go into it. Let's give that 85% example because this is a typical deal that you see on my channel, and it seems to be the common thing. Artists run into the 85-15 deal or 80-20 deal, right? Because they don't know what to do next. This is the major label I didn't know what I was doing deal. Okay, I'm keeping it real with you. 100% divided by 85% or 0.85 equals the multiple of available shares, 1.17647 times the $2 million, okay? Times the $2 million that you would ask for. This is a typical 85-15 deal with $2 million. You've seen my channel enough. You know how this works now. Equals you're valuing the album at $2.3 million. This is how much you say, okay, I'm doing a deal with the label today. They offered me an 85-15 deal. 15% is the artist royalty, of course. My album, they're saying my album right now is worth $2.3 million. Okay? With the cash that they're offering. Okay, this is an all-in $2 million that you see on the screen right here. Okay, so from this formula, your current and or projected streams would be within 1 to 15% of the cash requested. All right? It should be, not would be. It should be. You should be doing some numbers at this point. Usually when a deal like this happens, it's either because your team is cash strapped, you don't know what you're doing, right? And you need an entire team, so you say, but I'm just telling you the label don't have the staff to be able to offer you anything. It's just merely connections. They're outsourcing everything, right? And you need somebody to help you, okay? At that point, when this offer comes, you should be around here, either $20,000 generated on your album already, roughly 5 million streams, and they're looking at you. I'm giving you advice here. This is way too early to look for investment. This big, that is. Or it should be somewhere around $300,000 in accumulated revenue, or roughly 78 million streams. Now, if you're doing this amount, here's some more gems. If you're doing this amount of money right here within the year, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for label. I would be looking for staff members or outside help or subcontracted help that can help me get my job done. I don't know if I'd be looking for a deal. If I'm making this, even if I'm doing this a month, I'm already doing this a year, step back, take a breather, analyze what you're doing, figure out what the help you need, right? Write it down, go find these people, subcontract some people, pay them a little cash on the side, and keep boosting your revenue. Nobody should be making 85-15 deals, but I get it. I didn't know what I was doing, so I made this deal. And probably my management was thirsty, so they wanted the money, so, I got screwed anyway. But let's go to the next example. So here we go. 100% divided by 50%. This is a joint venture deal, okay? I'm just giving you the examples of how this will work. Because when you go into the NFT space, you're approaching the public like this, okay? When you sell that NFT, when we get further down in this particular video today, the public will be asking the question about, is this NFT worth purchasing from an artist? Why is it worth purchasing from an artist? And we're going to find out later in the video. So 100% divided by 50% or 0.50, which is 50%, equals 2. Oh, let me change this right here. This is my old formula right here, but I got 2x the dollar. Let me hold on 1 second. Let's make a change. All right, change made real quick. Okay, so 100% divided by 50% or 0.50, which is 50%, equals 2 times the multiple of available shares in that 100%, which is, 2 at this point. Okay, 2 times 250K equals you're valuing your album at 500 grand. Okay, now you say, well, why would you make it? The music is worth more. Why would you price it so low? I don't get it. No, hear me out. As you build your artistry, your whole thing, your brand, as you get bigger and bigger, even though you're valued at 500K right now, you're going to be worth more later. Okay? But right now, the album isn't worth $2-3 million, right? It's only worth how much cash you're requesting and how much cash you're earning at the same time. So let's go through our numbers again. From this formula, your current and or projected streams should be within 1 to 50% of the cash requested. Remember, we did a 50% number right here. So there's 2 shares. So in your 50% share, this should be the amount of cash you're generating, and this should be around the amount of streams. Okay? So 1.3 million streams to 65 million streams. Again, now the question is, well, if I'm already generating this much money, why am I asking for this? Okay? What's going on in my operation that I got to ask for this? What do I need from the indie label in the JV deal? I'm bringing up these questions so you as an artist understand when you sit down with your manager and y'all say, we're going to get this deal. Why are you going to get the deal? Why are you going to get this investment? So you got to figure these things out. You gotta be logical in this matter, because as we move into a space where the fans will now invest in you even more so than they have been from the beginning in the process, what will they be getting? They want to know, well, shoot, if I'm paying you $100, per share, like in a little pump deal, if I'm giving you $100 per share, what are you going to be doing with the money? Am I even going to make my money back? So that's what they're asking. It's the same thing that a label would ask or an investor would ask. That's why we're going through these numbers. Stick with me here. It's going to be a long week, but you got to come back tomorrow and you got to come back Friday. All right, so here's a small label distribution deal option right here. Let's say, all right, you coming in, you fresh, you own 100%, and you got 25% here that we're dividing it by, or 0.25, which equals 4 shares. In this 100%, we split it in a pizza 4 ways, okay? We're asking for $100,000. This values the album at $1 million, okay? Now, from this formula, your current and or projected stream should be within 1 to 25% of the cash requested. This is what you should be doing right here. This ask right here is looking mighty tasty, right? And I'm going to tell you why, because when it comes to paying this $100,000 back, because the only person who makes a distro deal like this is the person who has their operation together. And they also say, we know we're going to level up the staff as we go, but we don't want someone to give us a staff and make that staff do what we feel, or make them, because that's that new staff that the label gives you is going to say, we're going to do this, 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 and this for you. That's the person who doesn't know who they are, where they're going, and what they stand for. That's the person who didn't know what they were doing. But you making this type of deal right here, you know what you're doing. And you say, no, we're going to get our staff eventually. Let's build some revenue. Like a Russ, let's take our time. Like a Chance the Rapper, let's build this thing. And then maybe we'll do a big deal down the line, but by that point, between merch, shows, streams, other, ancillary income, I don't think we really need, because if it's a money thing, we gonna get the money off the strength, off the muscle anyway. So I ain't really asking for your money. What I'm asking for is your staff. You get what I'm saying? So as I keep reiterating, when we go into the public space with NFTs, they're asking the exact same thing. Can I resell this NFT later for a higher value? Is it going to be worth something? And then when we go into the space of selling the NFT as shares in your song, like the little pump deal, they're going to be asking the same thing. And you got to do this formula right here to make sure you valuing yourself in the right way. Now, the standard deal from a typical record label is 20 years, because when you do an 85-15 deal, they're banking that you're not going to be able to pay that $2.3 million back, or the $2 million back that you asked for. All right. Paying the loan back is based on time frame. A typical record deal when negotiated usually lasts 20 years, and the debt is maxed out to 100%. Okay. Like I'm just to the T. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you have to pay back the $2 million with your 15%. It's not $1 come in and then the debt is no. Okay, no, we're gonna take 15%. while we're collecting the 85%, and that 15%, we're going to hold it until you meet your debt, your clearance. And then when you meet your clearance, we're going to hold this money, baby, and we're going to pay you out your little 15% a piece at a time, baby. We ain't going to pay it all at once, just a little piece. So we're going to hold it, let you meet your debt, and then pay you off if you so collect $13.333333 million on that one album. We've been through this enough on this channel. I ain't got to get on a soapbox with it. Or 3.5 billion streams, or what is that? That's 2.5 times platinum almost, or 2.25 times platinum, according to the RIAA in streaming numbers. So at this point, I'm so confused as to why. Now, I know why I can be. I ain't been on YouTube this long, and I don't think you know nobody who's been dropping this much game this long. But if you've been following me, you understand. Hopefully your mindset has been changing. But man, check it out. So here's my proposal on paying back. The simple way of doing things: hold the artist royalty until the debt is recouped entirely or in stages. Okay, whether it's 30% recoup, like I think we talked about this last week. Use a percentage of income to pay back the debt. So let's say you use 20% to pay back the debt. And for the record company, keep the rest for profit and new investments. So like 30%, right? If it was a 50-50 deal, you hold 50%. You take 30% to profit pocket as a record company. You take the other 20% and and then you start to pay back the percentage of recoupment. And after that, keep it moving. So it's a pretty simple way to do it. It keeps the math simple. It's easier on independence. You know what I mean? You all know my spiel. The record label should be responsible for the artist. The artist royalty should not encompass the mechanical royalty. The artist shouldn't be responsible for paying the mechanicals. The producer royalty should be the responsibility of the label, and the label should also offer the songwriter a royalty. Shout out to the 100%ers and Tiffany Red. You know what I mean? So let's keep it rolling, baby. All right, what the label thinks you're worth, okay? When you make that 85% deal, here we are. And I hope you're still with me, man. This is not going to be an easy week because we're taking the wheel and we're turning it. We're turning it. Like, we're changing. The game is changing right now. And you got to be on the front side of it, okay? So if you do an 85-15 deal, this is our multiple from earlier in the show, and this is what they're thinking you're worth, the multiples right here on down the line. This is the leverage line when you get leverage right here, and the distribution line is down here. This is the people who didn't know what they were doing. This is the people who got it going on, but they need stuff from the label. They want a partner right here. And this is the people where they're like, look, man, we just need better services on distro, and we need a good branding look, but we got everything. We got all the bread. We really don't need your money. We just need a partnership with better services on distribution. Maybe give us like the Rap Life playlist, the Rap Caviar playlist. Give us some good playlisting, some things that we kind of don't have on our end. But other than that, we got all the other operations. These are the gangsters down here. These are the artists that didn't know what they were doing, and this is the manager artist duo that's got a decent operation going on. All right, so now, what makes you worth more anyway? Okay, check it out. Brand awareness. Brand awareness makes you worth more. If I can call somebody in your market regionally and say, yo, do you know this artist? And they'll be like, yeah, man, I heard of that dude. Yeah. People are aware, all right? Market share and density. How dense is your presence in your regional market? What about a national market? You should think about that. This makes you worth more. When people start to know you in your region, let's say, shout out to all my people of Florida. If you run in, let's say, if your region is Daytona, Orlando, and Tampa, if that's your region and people know about you, like you steaming hot in Central Florida, great. You killing it now. You know what I'm saying? What about Texas? If you killing it from Dallas to Austin to Houston, and you got those three cities on lock, man, hey, you doing it. What about Philly to New York, from Philly to Trenton to Newark to Newark to New York. Let's say if you got, that's your market, you got that on lock, you killing it. People know about you in that area, like as an artist, you doing it. All right, that's what I mean by market density. Total streams. What are your streams? You know what I mean? What does that look like? That makes you worth more. Copyright retention. How much of the copyright do you own as an independent artist right now? Is it 100%? Is it 50%? We're talking about masters. What does it look like? Did you sign yourself away too early? Did you get in bed before you even knew how to, get in the studio and cut a song? And did you do a deal with somebody? How did that work? What about publishing? How much publishing do you own? Of course, you're going to have to split some publishing with the writers and producers. But what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Ancillary sales. What about merchandise? What about other things that you're selling that coincide with your brand? What about hard ticket sales? All these things right here make you worth more than just, the base multiple of 1. You know what I'm saying? That makes you bump up your valuation. That makes the market say, hey, this guy right here is going somewhere. Or this woman, she's going somewhere. All right? Hard ticket sales are a big thing because when you can sell out a small venue of 100 to 300 people every time in your region, then that lets the investor know, say, hey, this is worth the investment at this point. Every time they go out, they sell out a small venue in every city in their region. Let's pour some gas on this fire right now. This makes sense. You know what I mean? Know your worth. Now, I know this is a class today. I know it. I appreciate you for sticking with me, but we got a lot to go, and I figured why not do it on a Wednesday so that by the time we get to Friday, you got this thing down. Okay, so building leverage. The solution is to build the leverage. The key indicators you're watching on your Spotify are your Spotify monthly listeners, as well as your top 3 social media platforms. In addition to that, email lists and text message lists from your direct to fan marketing are a must. If you don't have an email list and a text message list to go direct to the fans, it ain't gonna work, man. Like, you could do social media. I get it. You got the social media followers, but for those of y'all and the artists who watch this channel, and you know that your social media is only being exposed to only 10% of your followers anyway, if you can't get directly to your followers and your subscribers via email or text, what are you? That's why you see this text number right here. That's why this is here all the time. I know I might not text you all the time, but it's there. And guess what? For those who want to reach me, as long as I'm not super, super busy, I'm hitting you back. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, garnering a following via micro content builds leverage to offset the debt incurred in the recording process. Okay? So when you have the following via this micro content right here, by the time I'm going to show you later in the week that by the time you get to the album process, it's not going to hurt nearly as bad because everybody's engaged. Everybody know that the album's coming. They've been watching. They've been prepping for it. All right. Social media is a must. Text messaging, emails are a must. Spotify followers or Apple Music followers, they are a must. These are metrics that are used by investors to see if you're going to be worth it. And if you don't think that the public is thinking this way, they might not know how to utilize all these tools, but the investors do. And if you don't think they're not, you're sadly mistaken. You can't get in this game without some leverage. All right, let's go to the next slide. When your fans can pay back your debt at a fast rate, you have leverage. This is extremely important. And when you join me again tomorrow, we will go over this, okay? When your ancillary sellable items bring in more profit than your music, then you have leverage, okay? See all these people? These people, you see, that's the fan base all over the world. You got leverage. You're just bouncing money up and down on this other side, okay? Before, we were building it. We didn't have any people. But over here, we got leverage now. We got some people. Okay? So brand value, I know some long shows. Stick with me. Stay with me. Your brand will always be bigger than your music. Labels are still trying to make sales or streams on they're trying to make the streams rather, because that's the property they're investing in. The sound recording copyright, otherwise known as the sound recording intellectual property, the master recording, if you will, intellectual property. Okay? The reason why you can make more profit on other items than the music itself is because your consumer believes in you, your message, and what you stand for. Anytime your consumer stops believing in you, then your brand value goes down, 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 down. So therefore, your brand is always bigger than sales. Okay? So, check it out. Why do I have Chipotle sitting down here? Well, the example is, I don't know if you all remember a few years ago, the brand value for Chipotle went viral when there was a little boy who, this little boy's like, oh my God, I love Chipotle. You know, that little boy went viral for Chipotle. Shot the brand through the roof. You know what I mean? And this type of content, user-generated content, that's what it is. You can't, some user-generated content is so good, you can't pay for it. And that made a shift for Chipotle and brought in a whole lot more sales. You know what I mean? You are your own brand. You. And when you have brand value and you got leverage, you got a good chance at getting great returns on sales, on NFTs, or from investors. Now, I don't know why that says that, but anyway, it does. Other factors to consider here are, what are your current streams? How many followers and subscribers do you have? Do you have a decent email list? Do you have a text list? What do you need the cash for? What is your top geographic streaming area? Now, I know we just went through all this, but this is what the investors will ask. This is what the angel NFT investors will ask. And that's just that. Okay? So, final verdict, make sure you are ready for investment and you have proof of profit before seeking investment. Check your numbers so you can see how much you're worth. Stay tuned all week, please, because this was just one part of it. I got to go through the rest of the formulas so that when you get ready to prepare for your NFT, you understand what you need to offer the public, okay? Always build leverage first. Always, always. And don't seek out a record deal unless you want to open your back door. Please. All right? I'm out of here. Hey, thank you so much for watching this episode. Man, I'm really pouring in a lot after I'm really getting fan engagement from you all. Don't forget, you can text me 470-291-5767 if you want to contact me. If you have any suggestions, I'm reading these YouTube comments. I'm designing shows around your comments. So I'm just putting them in my list and we're just going from there. Hit me up on the community tab on this channel. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, and then go to the community tab. You'll see a list of shows and things like that I have going on. And then everybody's putting in their 2 cents there. Join me on musicmoneymakeover.com there, and then book a call if you want to speak with me. And yeah, there's so many more things that I have coming for this whole brand. As you will see in 2022, this is going to get pretty big, especially if you stick around till Friday. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the show. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, click on the book a call tab to get a one-on-one Zoom call with me to get all your music business questions answered and solved. Thanks for watching.